So JD, over the weekend, you and Andy had the opportunity to go to AEW World's End. Before we get to the match by match like results, what was your overall experience at the show, man? Did you guys have fun?
So we went to, I think I mentioned my wife's 88-year-old grandpa passed away, and the funeral was the day after Christmas. We weren't planning on going up to the farm, but we did. And then my wife caught bronchitis, so she wanted to go home pretty quickly afterwards. And I'm like, all right, why don't we, I wasn't planning on going because I thought we were going to be gone. So I said, well, why don't you go home and I'll just take the boy to the show. And tickets, we got some production kill tickets at like $35 a pop.
Nice.
They weren't great seats, but they were good enough to see the ring. So they actually did a really good crowd, and that it's the best I'd seen that Now Arena since 2022. So
it was like really, 9,000.
Yeah, 9,000. I think it started 9,000. They closed that, which is pretty good considering their setup. Like I said, best crowd I've seen there in a long time. So we had a blast. We were a little late. We missed Okada and Takeshita because we were literally coming home at that time. We were there for the whole show except the main event. Andy looked at me after John Moxley won, and he said, Dad, MJF's going to win the title. I don't want to watch it. Let's go home. And I said, yeah, good call.
Yeah.
And he was 100% right. My kid is the next John Muse. He just understands pro wrestling booking.
Yeah. Can I pat myself on the back, with the whole MJF thing?
This wouldn't be Mike and JD show if we didn't break our own elbows patting each other on the back.
Yeah. Even before MJF returned, I said on this show, when Swerve returned after Samoa Joe won the title, everybody's like, I think they're going to flip it over to Swerve. And I was like, I still think they're going to flip it over to MJF. I was like, MJF lost the belt to Samoa Joe. I think they're going to flip it back to him whenever he comes in. And then he was back a couple weeks later, cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm never going to call it the whatever else they call it.
What it is.
This what it is. And for a fatal four-way, yes, fatal four-way. I know that annoys people, but that's what it was.
Yep.
And I was like, I knew he was going to win that match. And some people liked it, some people didn't. I just once they announced that it was a four-way in the main event, I didn't care. I went to bed before that match. I ended up catching it later, and it was okay. But I went to bed after Moxley because I just old. So I went to bed after Moxley won the Continental Classic. But yeah, MJF is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Bogo Max himself. I'm curious to see how this run goes, man, because I think this is going to be really tied to his legacy in AEW. Because his last run was very hit or miss, man. He had a lot of stinkers in that last run.
I'd say more miss than hit, to be honest with you. MJF decided he wanted to be like this baby face with the Adam Cole thing. And like, I have a hard time giving them credit for drawing that house in Wembley. I know technically the main event is what draws the house, but I don't think I'm controversial taking this when I say it was the appeal of AEW and Wembley that drew that house.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think we shit all over that main event when that happened a couple years back. So I think this is a chance for the real MJF to be the world champion the way we thought he should have been the first time. I think Max is an excellent worker. Yeah. He really is in the ring. He really, really is. I don't like his I can't think of the word right now.
His instincts.
Thank you. I don't care much for his instincts. I couldn't think of that word. I think it leans way too sports entertainment heavy. A lot of it is his age. I want to see a Ric Flair-esque title run from him. Mm-hmm. When I say that, what I mean is like the millionaire world heavyweight champion who's a complete dickhead that people kind of like, but they know they're supposed to boo. I think it's been a while since we've had a guy like that in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Imagine if The Miz was actually good. So I want to see if we can do that. I want to see my kid hit it on the nail head. He's like, Dad, it's time for Darby. And I'm like, you know what, kid? You're right. I would like to see Darby Allin going back and feuding with MJF one more time for that title. I think it's a breath of fresh air because we've kind of been recycling Joe, Swerve, Hangman in that world title scene for a couple of years now. And I'd like to see something a little bit different. And I think that Max and MJF have a real good rivalry. They haven't really touched each other in a few years. And I think that now that MJF is kind of back to being the scumbag that he is, it's very important right now because we called him Bogo Max. Like AEW's stuff started to downfall during his title reign. A lot of it wasn't his fault, but this is really, things are kind of on an upswing. Like, they're doing better than they were a year ago, not tremendously, but they're doing better than they were a year ago. So now is the time to really see that. I think you got to go with Max with a decently long title reign, and now is the time to really establish who that next babyface is going to be. People like say that Tony never gives Hangman the shot. That's because when Hangman gets the shot, nothing fucking happens. That is the truth. And I know that if you say a bad thing about the Hangman, people hate you, but like, people like watching the Hangman chase for the title. They don't like watching him as the champ.
Both of his runs have failed.
Yes.
They have failed, and they went to they had to transition to a guy in their 40s, right? Like his first run, they transitioned to Punk because Punk was just a bigger star, and then this time they transitioned.
Which was the move. Let's not forget that. That was a smart move at the time.
That was a smart move. So then he gets scaled down a little bit, and then they ramp him back up, and then he had a good his chase to Moxley. I thought was good, was really good actually. And then he got the belt, and then nobody cared. And then they do like a 2 to 3 match series with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe ends up winning it, and he was really a transitional champion to get the belt back to Max. Which I don't know why Max couldn't just beat Hangman. Maybe they're saving that for later.
Had to get that win back, brother.
Yeah. He wanted to beat Samoa Joe. Why couldn't they just do Samoa Joe? They had to be a 4-way. The whole thing just puzzles me, and I'll never understand it.
I don't know, man. I kind of like when Joe's the champ. Like, I think Joe beating Hangman was a little bit of for this company, right? I think it'd become a little predictable, and I think doing that on occasion, and Joe's a great guy to do that with. Like, in case of glass break, put the belt on Joe. Like I said, I'm a little more cautiously optimistic on Max this time because I think they're just going to book him as a heel champ this time around. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes, and we'll be keeping tabs on it. Let's just go through the card really quick. So you missed Takeshita and Okada.
I did.
It was a really good match, but they did this for whatever reason. They decided to do a screw job finish, literally with a screwdriver, where Okada pulled out a screwdriver and he whiffed Takeshita, thankfully, or else he would have killed him. But he hit Takeshita with the screwdriver and got the victory in the tournament where you're not allowed to cheat or you'll get fired. He cheated to win, which that's the heat. I get it, and they're going to go back to it.
He's a heel, and also Takeshita trying to keep him a little strong heading into Wrestle Kingdom. Weird booking all the way around.
Yeah,
but I think there's still meat on the bone with Takeshita and Okada. So like, I'm okay with it. It's a semifinal. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, so much so, like, okay, and when the only time I usually get mad at AEW is whenever what I book in my head is something they didn't book. And for Mike's booking, what I wanted was Takeshita and Fletcher in the final. I would have went with the guys on the rise versus Okada and Moxley, kind of two guys that have been there, done that before. Or I would have done Okada and Takeshita in the final with Takeshita going over. I just think it's time for Takeshita and it's time for Fletcher. But like I don't care. I'm not mad that Moxley won. I love Moxley, of course, but that's just kind of what I would have done. And so I just feel like this was Okada and Takeshita is a really, really big match. And I just kind of wish that we would have gotten it under better circumstances than the semifinal of the tournament and then a screw job finish. Maybe because I just wanted something different.
I feel like we overrate the first time matches too much.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like we oh my God, it could never happen again. When in reality, wrestling fans' memories are short, notoriously, and it's been this way forever. I think we can go back to that match at some point, and it's fine. We have this American booking mind. When American booking, every tournament, every big thing is a chance to make the next guy, chance to make the new guy, chance to do something else. Whereas in Japan, very often the guy wins the big tournament, right? You look at that history, the IW of man, I'm having a rough day today. The summer tournament, the G1. Thank you. God damn, man. This old age is killing me. You look at the G1, right? It's oftentimes won by the guy.
Yeah.
It's very rarely won by someone on the rise, if ever. Like, the G1 is not a chance to you make yourself in the G1 by going on a run in the G1, not by winning the G1. Like Ochono won it like 4 times. Okada's won it a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? Tanahashi's won. Like, that's how
Takeshita won it this year.
Takeshita didn't win it, and he's the champ. Like this, it's typically in the Japanese tournament system, the guy wins it. The big guy wins that thing. So I think that and the C2 is inspired by the G1 to the point where the names are almost the same. So I think that having this, especially with a guy like Moxley, who, and I love this booking. I'll tell you why. John Moxley's had a very definitive, very controversial here. People like, I hate the Death Riders. John Moxley found a way to be an over heel in this way. He was the most hated heel in the company and possibly in pro wrestling for a good chunk of 2025, right? And he drew. All in drew. Like the AEW started ticking back up with Moxley's reign. We didn't love it at first, but after a while, the pay-per-views increased, everything but TV ratings. And that's just kind of across the board. TV's in a weird place right now. Just look at everything. And Moxley's been, since losing the title, Moxley's been putting people over left and right.
Yeah.
So I think that this tournament did a really good job of reestablishing a top guy. Man, my kid was on the ball. He says, Dad, their Death Riders are going to turn on Moxley.
Yeah.
And they didn't, but I think it's coming.
It's coming.
Because they're very much in different places right now.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been predictable to have that happen. And it didn't happen, but you're kind of like, ooh. So I think in 2026, Mox doesn't have to be the champ. But I think having him with that Continental title, there's too many belts in the fucking company. But at least those belts kind of signify who are the people you have to watch in this company. And I think that it puts Moxley in an interesting position, right, in 2026. And I do like that I would not have booked Moxley to win it, but I really like the story that they told with John Moxley, which is really the third like resurrection of John Moxley.
Yeah.
Like this whole tournament, to the fact that he was the most hated heel in the company forever, and to the point where everyone in Chicago was wanting Mox to win that match. And when I thought for sure Okada was going to win, because they just put that unified title out there. Like it seemed like it was going to be Okada's tournament to win again this year. And when Mox hit that elevated Death Rider, I think the whole crowd went, holy shit, he won.
Yeah.
Like it was the first time that John Moxley won, and everybody was just kind of like, oh my God. And it felt like they did something. So, I mean, I'm a fan of it. Just because they didn't make a new guy, and just because Kyle Fletcher didn't win this, Kyle Fletcher's been on a straight up trajectory. But I think we just have this idea that everyone has to be rocket strapped and be given the title right away. And then it's almost like, well, what do you do? I almost think they did that with Max too early too. I think I'm okay with Kyle Fletcher continuing to rise up, and, sometimes you lose, and that's okay. He's like 27 years old. Like, let him have some bumps in the road, and he will be the guy in that company soon enough. I like what they did with John Moxley here a lot, actually.
Yeah, like I said, I don't hate it. I was like, oh man, Takeshita winning the G1 and the C2 in the same year, that would have been just, and the IWGP Championship, that was just been legendary. And then of course, Kyle Fletcher, after the year he's had, I was just like, oh man, it'd be great if he won it. But I do see the story that they're telling with Moxley, and I'm fine with it. Moxley and Fletcher was insane.
It was what a fucking match.
Yeah.
What a fucking match that was.
It was so good. I think it killed like the next 4 matches because they couldn't live up to it.
They could. I mean, it's so funny. People keep telling me I'll go on Reddit, I'll go on Twitter and be like, Moxley's a bad wrestler. Moxley's not good anymore. Bullshit. John Moxley is Terry Funk. John Moxley is great at being John Moxley. And it was fantastic. And it was so hard. And having FTR, I think people are hard on FTR, but I mean, I think FTR, if the tag team division was better, I think it would have been fine. Stokely almost died, which I appreciate. Stokely sacrificing himself for my entertainment. But I mean, like, it wasn't a great follow-up to that. It did kind of kill some of the crowd for a while.
So FTR should have beaten whatever it is, Gun Juice, whatever they're calling them, the Gang. They're not over.
The Bang
Should
Bus?
have beaten them in 8 minutes. We didn't need all them goddamn kickouts. Like you don't have to follow a 5-star match with guys who want to have a 5-star match. Sometimes you can just go out there and just have 2 teams beat the shit out of each other, and then the team that you're pushing goes over clean. I don't think you had to do all of that in that match. Like Austin Gunn and Finn Juice or Juice Robinson, they're never going to be guys in this company. You didn't have to go all the way with them. FTR is the actor you're pushing. Just fucking put them over. You don't have to do stupid shit. So I didn't like that tag team title match.
I didn't love it either. I tried to give it a good chance, but just, I don't know. People get so hard on FTR, which again, they like the way you get heel heat from this company is you aren't fresh, I guess. You've been around for a little bit. And I think FTR is the best tag team in the company right now. There's not a doubt in my mind. I do think eventually, my hunch is it'll eventually go to Bailey and Knight, I think that's an act that they're going to push. I think that's going to be it eventually. But for this show, it was fine. I would much rather have seen Bailey and Knight, which I just actually said I would rather watch Speedball Bailey, but here we are. I would much rather have seen them wrestle FTR.
Well, now that he's AEW, you love him. It's
no,
weird.
I don't love him. He bores me to tears, but I like Kevin Knight a lot. So if I have to suffer with Mike Bailey to watch Kevin Knight, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
And he's better in small doses. Quite frankly.
The women's tag team title match, I didn't really care for that one either, to be honest with you. Like I said, I think the Fletcher and Mox match kind of killed the next couple of matches. I didn't really care for the women's tag team title match either. I don't know why. I just was not into it.
We went and got nachos. And when they came out, Andy goes, Dad, can we get nachos?
Yeah.
So let's go get some nachos. Again, the kid's got a great instinct. I mean, I don't know. It's not Monday stuff is not for me. I really like Willow. I think Harley is a great character. It just doesn't do it for me. I was eating nachos and bullshit with my kids, so I didn't pay attention to the match very much.
Harley and Willow won, so there you go. And then the next match was probably your son's favorite match. It was a Darby and Gabe Kidd.
Dude, this match was awesome. Andy, it was literally his favorite match. Darby Allin comes out. Since he's been a little kid, he just loses his shit for Darby Allin. He adores Darby Allin. I thought it was great. I think Gabe Kidd, and Andy was unfamiliar with Gabe Kidd. So like I said, this guy is intense. And there's just this raw intensity with Gabe Kidd where he comes out there and like there's so many guys that pretend to be a pro wrestler and they're like acting and theatrical. And I believe Gabe Kidd will just punch a motherfucker in the mouth. And we need more guys like Gabe Kidd in wrestling. And it wasn't a super long match. It was reasonably short. It was violent. Gabe Kidd beat the shit out of Darby Allin. And Andy kept going, Darby just doesn't have it this match. Like he knows the score, but whenever Darby Allin comes out, he just marks out completely. He's like, it's not Darby's day. It's just not Darby's day. And Darby Allin pulls it off and he just loses it every time it happens. Like that kid, Darby Allin just makes my kid believe. And I just enjoy Darby Allin because I enjoy watching my son love wrestling. I think Gabe Kidd could be a fucking player in this company, man. If New Japan doesn't re-sign him, I see dollar signs all over Gabe fucking man.
I don't think New Japan has a choice. I think this is very much a Joe Hendry TNA situation.
I think so too.
Yeah. Much like the Will Ospreay situation. Like Tony Khan's like, hey, Tanahashi, it's a nice wrestler you got there. Can I borrow him? Yeah, we're not ever giving him back. You can have him. You can have him for a couple of dates here and there, but he's ours now. Sorry, bud. Sorry, Tana.
I just don't pay people as much as they should, man. That is just unfortunate where we are in New Japan, where if you aren't native and someone they're going to invest in, it's just the gaijins come and go. That's just the nature of this company. Going back to AJ Styles.
I just want the AEW hardcores to have that same energy that they have with WWE and TNA, where WWE has taken two of TNA talents. I want them to really look at the AEW New Japan relationship and just how many people that AEW has signed and have the same exact vitriol that they have for the WWE.
Dude, it's team sports, man. It is the exact same shit. Let us not forget that. I don't understand why people get mad about people getting paid more because they're good at their job. Joe Hendry found a great way to make money being Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
He's going to be a goon on SmackDown for the next 5 years, and that's fucking ecstatic. I'm happy for the guy. He found a way. Like
he may never take another bump.
No, and it's perfect for him, man. Like, remember that guy was in Ring of Honor during the pandemic? I'm like, why the fuck is this guy in Ring of Honor? It never made sense to me. Yeah. Like, talk about a guy that gambled on himself, did it his way, and succeeded. We should celebrate this shit.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, so Leon Slater is the next guy that's going to go from TNA to WWE.
Because he's really good. What's the fucking problem?
It's a good, TNA's doing the right thing by the talent, by letting them go. New Japan did the right thing by Will Ospreay by letting him sign early because they know that, look, this is life-changing money you're about to get. We would be dicks if we stood in the way of that. Same situation. And nobody's being predatory. These are partnerships and they're helping each other out.
Yeah, and they both send people back and forth.
Yeah,
like honest to God, the wrestling ecosystem is the healthiest it's been in decades.
Yeah.
The AEW, New Japan, CMLL triangle, it works really well. Like CMLL does great this year, and when they bring in AEW guys, they do good too. They do even better. WWE has made AAA viable. AAA has struggled for decades, and under WWE bannership, they're doing really, really well. TNA is really strong. Like, I don't see this as a fucking problem. If Mr. Iguana can sell a bunch of fucking puppets and show up on Raw every now and then and people love him, great. Fantastic. Yeah. I don't see the issue. I really don't.
There isn't an issue. Like New Japan and TNA are doing right by their talent when they let their talent sign bigger contracts with bigger companies. That's just it. They're doing right by the talent. Yeah. The bad thing would be to prevent them from making all that money. Instead, they're helping them. And when you're TNA, that's going to you're going to be able to market your company to potential free agents who are saying like, hey, look, if I do find a better offer at the bigger company, like TNA might actually help me out with that. So I'm going to come in and work hard for them.
I truly believe that AJ Styles showing up in the Royal Rumble almost 10 years ago did a lot to help New Japan in the eyes of like the mainstream wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Because when he showed up, they said, oh, he was a new IWGP champion. I think a lot of people went, what's that? And then had a chance to, because like the rise of New Japan, like they were super popular, like the early Bullet Club days, it was in the weeds with guys like us, right? Yeah. When AJ signs with WWE is the same time Bullet Club shirts start showing up in Hot Topic. The Bucks are pushing things. Like I think having AJ jump at that moment and and people talking about it really did a lot to help New Japan's visibility in 2016, 2017. So I'm crazy, I guess. I think that people jumping around is good for wrestling. I really do. I don't like people signing 10-year contracts. I think that guys should bounce around. The 80s and 90s was a much more interesting time in wrestling because of that. And I think that Gabe Kidd eventually going to AEW, which is what's going to happen. I think he can be a premier heel in AEW within the next year because he's got this violent intensity that is sorely lacking from pro wrestling. Like when Gabe Kidd gets out there, shit's going to get fucked up. And it's like, it's almost Moxley-ish, but like Moxley has his own vibe, like this mellow vibe where Gabe Kidd's a fucking lunatic.
Who just turned babyface?
Yeah, who just
Moxley.
Correct.
And he's a member of the Death Riders, who's one of the better heels in the company. Gabe Kidd.
Gabe Kidd.
The story writes itself.
Michael, excellent job. I like that booking. I really do. Because it's great. And now that contract's probably going to come up because we're almost to January. I think Gabe Kidd could be a Gabe Kidd, John Moxley rivalry in AEW. Sign me the fuck up. Yeah. I'm in. I think that's a great idea. And I think I love Gabe Kidd. I think that he did a job to Darby on his way out because remember Ospreay did it too. Ospreay jobbed, before he had signed. I think that's kind of what Tony does is he kind of makes you earn some love with the company before just to show you're going to be a team player. Maya World and what High End just signed because they were willing to do business. And Tony said, hey, you come in and do business, I'll make sure you got a contract.
For sure. We only got a couple minutes left, so we've been rambling on.
Sorry,
so
we do.
we get too excited. All right, the mixed nuts match. Did you get a chance to watch that? What'd you think?
I actually quite enjoyed that match.
Yeah.
It was a nice little break. It was entertaining. It was comedy. Andy does not. I don't know. He's 9, so he's like, oh, the girls' matches. I have no interest in that. He actually had a blast watching that one. Like Toni Storm truly is a generational talent. Like she has so found her niche in this company. Like he cracked his ass off with her and Orange Cassidy doing that little spiel in the ring. I think it was located really, really well, and the talent booked was great. Wheeler Yuta might be the most hated person on the roster. He gets in the ring and people just fucking hate his guts.
Yeah.
Just for being Wheeler Yuta.
He's got a punchable face.
He totally does. Yeah. And Mark Briscoe is just fucking fan. He's the Jimmy Valiant, but can actually work of this era. People just love Mark Briscoe. I thought it was a really good booking. And I wanted to see more of Marina beating the shit out of her husband, which I'm sure the two of them just enjoyed. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really did. I like that match.
Yeah. And Roddy, EPW says Roddy Strong did not hold on that back chop. No, he did not.
I don't want to just use your imagination what those two are like.
Yeah. Yeah. And lastly, we already talked about Moxley and Okada, so we don't need to get into that. We already talked about the main event. So Statlander and Jamie Hayter, what'd you think of that match?
I just can't get into Chris Statlander. I like Jamie Hayter quite a bit. I get they had to get the title off of Tony and spread some love and try to build somebody else up. I completely makes sense. Chris Statlander is very good in the ring, but there's always been a disconnect with me and her. Like, I don't see what everybody else sees.
I don't see it. They really like her. She's a hard worker.
She's a hard worker.
You know, and
I'm not arguing that.
I think they're rewarding her for the hard work, and that makes sense because they kind of messed her up when she started out as an alien, and then she was booping noses.
That was her. That's her gimmick. Like that was what she was doing on the Indies. It was a stupid gimmick.
Yeah,
you know.
And then they had her turn heel on Willow, and then they turned her babyface, and like the whole booking thing, her whole booking arc has been messed up. So now they're just trying to like, hey, this is a really good wrestler, and she's our world champion. I don't think it's working. I think that they need to get the belt on a star again, but they're trying to make a star. It just isn't really working. And so eventually they're going to transition it back to Tony or to Monday. Like Monday is probably going to lose all the belts and then maybe go win that belt, or they're going to do something.
I still don't know why they don't book Willow in that spot, because Willow actually is over. Like Willow has a great personality. The fucking crowd loves her. She's really good in the ring.
And she's a beast.
And she's a beast. And she's got a different look. And she's just, I don't know, man. I think that Willow is so underutilized. She's the tag champs right now, which is good. They're starting her. They were smart putting those belts on her and Harley. They're both super over, like with a company. Like, okay, sure. I just don't get why they don't just pull the trigger on putting Willow in that spot for a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. To close it out, I just got to give AEW a really big compliment. 4 hours. That's good. 4 hours. That's a good pay-per-view. I left early because I got tired, but that's just because I didn't get much sleep the night before. I'm not going to complain about a 4 hour show. Could it have been one or two less matches for me? Probably, but 4 hours, I think that's a good happy medium. 5.5 to 6, you guys are out of your minds if you do that ever again. That's a mini series, and nobody wants that. Just 4 hours, perfect.
4 hours at the main show. The pre-show starts at 6.
Pre-show doesn't count.
Pre-show does not count. I didn't go. It's funny. Andy and I were leaving. The bus driver looks. He goes, "Hey, how much longer is this going to go?" I said, "The main event just started." And he looked at me. He goes, "I swear." He goes, "Are you fucking shitting me?" I said, "Nah, man. These shows go long."
Yeah.
And the look on this bus driver's face was just like perfect.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. Made me think of you, actually.
Yeah. It's like 3 hours is perfect, but 4 hours, okay, happy medium. That's good. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for us this time on the Mike and JD Show. And until next time, mahalo.
Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no lane from the track when we unite and spit. This isn't A game, better bring your A game. Competition starting to get thick, it's the click, so I hope you watch your A game. A made no lane.
They're just incapable.